one and the only Kid Austin, Floyd Schofield, and his dad right there. How's it going, gentlemen? How are you guys doing?
Think it's good. How's everything going with y'all?
Good.
Thanks for joining us.
I'm
Already
glad.
moving on up. They already got a background and everything. Look at this. You know what I mean? Going places. Oh man. Now 4-0. I mean, it just seemed it was just not that long ago. They guys were on just 1-0. Now it's just like fight. It's just every time I turn around, Floyd Schofield is knocking somebody out.
It's a good thing.
That is a good thing. No doubt about it. Shout out to Telemundo who had the fights. I was watching the last fight, and I saw the opponent fall. But what was the last punch that you landed? It was hard to tell.
I don't know. It was just a flurry of punches.
Yeah, it was like a flurry, right? Like those punches were so fast. I was like, "Whoa!"
I believe I hit him on his neck, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
A neck shot.
Man. Hey, this guy that you fought, although he had a losing record, a big losing record, he had a lot of experience, though. He had like a lot of fights.
Yeah.
Was he trickier than you thought? Easier than you thought? Like, how did that go?
Nah, I'll answer that.
Yeah.
Now, this guy, Devin Haney fought this guy and went 5 rounds with Devin Haney and stuff.
Oh.
That was the same age as Floyd when they fought. Devin was 9-0, the guy was 5-2, and he went 5 rounds with Devin. He only went 30 seconds with us. And we showed a different style. Floyd went in there doing a slugger style, just told him to beat the guy down.
I don't even like sleeping, but so good.
Yeah. Since the Haneys was in there, that we in a whole nother league than them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
It's funny because I said, let's save that question for last, but it's already coming up. Well, when's you guys when's the next fight, Floyd?
May 8th in Florida, and then May 21st on Telemundo again.
Man,
okay.
This guy's coming through, man. That's what I like about you. Last time you came here, you said you wanted to fight every month in the year, and look at you doing it. And now you're talking about fighting twice in 1 month, man. This is incredible, man. I love that. I love the staying active, the staying ready. I love that attitude.
I plan that to be like my whole career if I can.
Wow, that's what's up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, that's at 30. What was it? Was it 33 seconds? You said
It was 29 seconds, actually.
29 seconds. I just clocking in and being done in 29 seconds must be nice.
Oh man,
Hey,
that's the life right there, man.
Like, all right, I'm out. That's called job abandonment. What I do, but over here in boxing, you can get it done that quick. Man.
That's got to be an advantage, right? Being in the Southwest like that in Austin, that you can get fights in Mexico and the United States to keep fighting actively, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, you can't. I'm in New York City. Like, there's no way a fighter here would be able to do that.
Right.
That's definitely a good strategic move. I actually hadn't thought of that before, but being based out of like Texas and being able to get fights consistently on both sides of the border, right?
Yes. Exactly. That's exactly the reason we moved to Austin, Texas.
There you go. That's a smart move right there.
Thank you.
Speaking of Texas and speaking of the capital, Austin, Texas, the nickname Kid Austin. Is the nickname inspired by a lot of the old school fighters like Kid Azteca, Kid Gavilan? Like, you know what I mean? Is it inspired by that at all?
Actually, no. It was just, being the fact I'm from Austin and I'm just a kid, so why not just be
Gotcha. Yeah. So the name was brought up, Devin Haney. And I saw the shirt, by the way, Run, Devin, Run.
Yeah.
I got to order one. But
yes.
First of all, this from my understanding, because I kind of followed everything as it went down, right?
Mm-hmm.
This came completely unprovoked by you guys, right?
Right.
Because the last time we had Floyd Schofield on, we literally asked him about the sparring, and all he said, "Oh, it was good work," and that's it. That's all. That's in the archive. People could go back. They can listen to it. On Punch Drunk channel, shout out to Mr. Moonshine, by the way. But on his channel, when you guys were there, Bill Haney comes on and starts talking about how your son got stopped or he quit. I think they said quit, right?
He said he stopped him. He said he stopped him.
First round and all this other nonsense. Yeah. He had too much drinks that night. He was just
What do you think that was all about, though? Like, why would he, not just a lie, but like, why would he even do that? Like, it seemed like it was out of left field.
He's just trying to stay relevant, and he see that I'm getting publicity.
Nah, that ain't what it is.
You don't think it? Or he might be mad I'm mentioning Shakur more than his son.
No, that ain't what it is.
What it is then?
And if you listen to the interview, he said on one part, he said, if y'all, I know how to move people up the ranks. You think Rick Ross could do that? We were supposed to be going with Devin Haney Promotions at one time, but Bill never sent no paperwork. He just gave words. So we moved on with our life. And so I think that affected something, and he just felt he had to come up there and make up lies to bash Floyd. But when he made that statement, it showed that's what's bothering him.
That could be the case.
That could be the issue.
Wow.
We don't care. We're going to keep moving, doing our damn thing. Bill be all right. And we're going to promote this fight because sooner or later, him and Devin going to have to fight. And Devin going to have to answer for what his dad said.
Oh, man. Well, Bill's writing the checks. Can Devin cash them? That's the question.
Right. Devin, they run. Like with this Lopez fight, they're going to find a way to price themselves out. They're going to try to find a way to avoid it so that he can move up and the belts would be vacant and whatever for grabs. Devin, that's a strategy Bill used. He'll pop the nonsense, then find a way to get out of the fight. And so, like this fight they having now, he's a top 10 guy, but he's number 10. I mean,
I think Lenore is still gonna beat him. I hope he do.
It might be a tough fight for him.
Ooh,
but not gonna fight anybody in the top echelon. They ain't gonna fight a Shakur or Lopez. They're gonna run and they're gonna stall.
Speaking of which, let me ask you something, sir. I'm a teacher by trade. Would you mind giving a grade to Devin Haney's last performance against
Gamboa
from A down to D?
Now that's a tricky rating only because Gamboa is old and kind of beaten already. So I would say his performance had to be a C. With his performance, because Gamboa should have been out of there in the second, third round if he knew what he was doing and as great as he say he was. But the performance he gave showed Devin don't got no power like that.
Yeah, and I believe I fell asleep and woke up in the 11th round, if I'm not mistaken.
But I want to see somebody in the top 5.
Yeah, that fight definitely wasn't the most entertaining, but you're right. He should have took Gamboa out of there. This is a guy who's been on the canvas 17 times in his career going into that fight. And he didn't even look like he was hurt, wobbled, nothing in that fight. We just seen what Herring did to Frampton, a guy who was at the end of the line, just like a Gamboa. Look, retired him. Retired the man. Like, that's what he should have done with Gamboa. You guys are absolutely right with that. I agree 100%.
He was recovering from Achilles injury, too.
Right.
Hey, he knocked me out. I was asleep by the 9th round. I was out. Smooth out. No, but... does that offer? I saw the offer of something like $1 million for like 6-round exhibition, something like that. Does that still stand?
Yeah, that's still stand. But Devin right now gonna face Linares. Then he claimed Lopez gonna call him out. We're gonna see how he gonna duck that one, and we'll see if he'll take the exhibition fight. But then he should feel. We don't want his title right now. He'll feel safe. Just let's see if he could do what he say he could do.
Wow.
Yeah, I really like the way that you guys handled the situation over on Punch Drunk's channel. I was watching that live as it went down, and it just was like, wow, I can't believe he would say that while his dad is there. Like, it almost seemed to me like my first impression was I didn't think he knew you were there. And he just came on, started running his mouth. Oh, yeah, we stopped him. And then you're like, who got stopped?
I was sitting there daydreaming for a minute till I realized who they was talking about.
It's because he was over a screen. That's the only reason. He was in the same building, and we didn't see them at all. it's crazy.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, we hear a lot of stuff coming out of. We had another prospect here, Sam Arnold III, who also did some sparring down there in the gym, and he kind of alluded to the same thing. He didn't really give a lot of information, much like you guys did the last time you were here, but he just kind of said that they edited some film of him sparring some guy there who he said, well, he's not even that good. They try to make it seem like I quit, and I don't like that type of stuff, man. Like I remember going to the gym, seeing guys spar, like it was just sparring. Nowadays, it's turned into something completely different. Like what do you think is driving this stuff, man?
Social media.
Yeah.
Everything becoming entertainment more than it's not even boxing no more. It's entertainment. Like a person could work his behind off, get to the top number 2. It should be lined up for a title fight. But the champions could pick whoever. They could pick number 38 if they want to. Everything is just entertainment, social media, and this hype machine they got going around.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, if I knock you down or something in sparring, it's gonna be a highlight reel. But I feel like all the editing and the person's giving good work. Either you should put the whole video up or keep it in sparring.
Right,
Yeah,
and that's what Sam Arnold told us too. He said that I guess Fight Hype or one of those websites was there filming it. He goes, they got the whole thing, like it's not what they try to make it seem, And he says that they're just looking to make an image for themselves, I don't think that's good, man. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said that's part of Bill's marketing. It worked for them so far. That's what they did to get them where they needed to be. So
Yeah, that's the thing I don't understand. Like they always talk about Devin in these spectacular sparring sessions, yet he gets in the ring. We don't see a whole lot of spectacular things going on as far as like hurting guys, knocking guys down, and they seem to make a habit of talking about what they did to Teofimo in the gym. But then look what Teofimo looks like in the ring. He looks great in the ring. So I wish guys would just keep it in the ring. And I can see from when I watch your son fight, you look all business in the ring, man. I really like that in fighters, no messing around, none of this sparring talk, I'm going to go in here, I'm going to get this guy out of here because that's what I'm supposed to do,
That's right. Go in there and do your job. What you was about to say?
What was I about to say?
Oh, never mind. You done forgot.
Just don't lose focus like that in the ring. That's all. Not in the ring.
Yeah.
I'm glad y'all watching his fights and stuff, and I hope everybody tune in. Y'all gonna see some stuff with Floyd. Telling y'all.
Oh, absolutely. I seen one of the. I don't know if it was your last fight, but you ended the fight with I think it was like a left hook to the body in the first round on a guy. But
that was that fight right there.
We're supposed to be ending with that uppercut.
Oh, I ain't forget about them. They still got one.
No,
either I'm just getting somebody that does this on the ropes, or
yeah. I saw him throw it. But I feel sorry for whoever eats it. I know that. I'm glad it's not me. But
yeah,
I somebody asked in the chat, and it's directed to Floyd Sr. Where did you learn your craft? That they were teaching to your son.
My father was a professional fighter, boxer. So I grew up and I was boxing until I got into trouble. And then Floyd, the third generation. So it's been passed down in the family our whole life.
Okay.
Yeah, they couldn't mess with me now though.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about y'all, but I ain't gonna throw no shade towards y'all.
All right, well there you go. Maestro, you got any questions, brother?
Yeah, I mean, just in terms of the next year to 18 months, the plan is just to continue to fight consistently, right?
Yes, and go after a couple of titles.
Get my IBF.
Okay, so you're looking at targeting the IBF.
Yeah.
Any reason why you're looking at the IBF over the other alphabet organizations?
When I was a kid, I like that red and gold. It just looks beautiful.
Okay, I was going to ask if it's because you're from Jersey originally and that's where they're from, but that doesn't have anything to do with it?
Nah, that didn't have nothing.
I just like the colors. I like the beautiful belt.
That's fair. That's fair.
Remember, he's still 18. He's still a teenager.
Yeah.
That's a nice looking belt though, for sure. Red and gold,
Absolutely.
Now, I mean, it's not because
And that be
Oscar Valdez has the belt. Does it have anything to do with that, or is this like a...
Oh no, we're not worried about anybody.
Okay, all right.
Just the other divisions, they got so many champions. Like
I was just about to say,
else, it'd be too many.
The IBF doesn't have a super title or a gold title or interim title or emeritus. A recess. I'm not diamond. You could go on in these other ones.
They also enforce the mandatories more. So this
is true,
and that's good. That's what we want. You work hard to get up there. We want to fight the best because that's the way he's going to build his legacy. He wants
because once he's ready, man, they're not going to want to fight him. They're going to have to be forced.
Man. So who got on that Lopez fight?
Against Cambozas?
Yeah.
I got Lopez. Mid-round stoppage, something like that.
We think Teofimo's going to win that one. I think it should be an entertaining fight, though. Cambozas looks like he's hungry, and he's gonna come in there and try to make it a dogfight. I think
Yeah.
Okay. We missing one. He didn't answer.
Oh.
Who you got going?
Oh, me? I got Teofimo in that. Okay. Unless I just watched a show on Netflix that people should check out called The Serpent, about this dude that used to like poison people, rob them, and then kill them afterwards. Unless Teofimo's the victim of some guy like that, he's winning that fight. But yeah, check that out. It's on Netflix. I just finished watching all episodes. It's really good. The Serpent. Everyone should check it out.
I'm gonna watch it because you said it.
Yeah, absolutely. Check it out. Yeah.
Right. A free promotion for the show, you know what I mean?
Hey man, I gotta give a shout out to quality product, man.
There you go.
They're not paying to show anything. That's enough about them. But anyway, man. Now a couple of things here. As far like right now in the sport, just a couple of boxing questions for you guys. Who do you guys have? Each one of you. Who do you have as the number one pound for pound fighter in boxing today?
Shakur Stevenson.
Really? You should know that's gonna be his answer.
Hey,
man, I picked Terrence Crawford. If they will give him a chance to show it, he's really the pound for pound best.
Hey,
I've always liked Crawford myself too. I like the switch hitting. He doesn't mind to get hit. He's not afraid to stick his nose in there and hurt guys. He's not gonna pity pat like some guys do to a win. Like I always enjoyed watching Crawford fight.
Right,
good fighter. Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's great. What are you guys' opinions on Saul Canelo Alvarez?
He is very active. He reminds me of myself a lot.
Nah, quit.
Because he's very active.
Oh, that's the only reason?
Yeah. And I think he's just getting that money.
I think he's just getting his cash grab right now before he retire.
Okay. I mean, are you impressed that he's getting a good amount of money and he's as active as he is? Because usually guys get that money. I mean, they're fighting once, twice a year.
Yeah, and I think he's made a lot of progress. He's gotten much better as a fighter. And I like the fact how he's super humble. He just stays humble.
Yeah.
Stays humble.
He's a good person.
Continues to do his thing.
He's a good person.
Yeah, and I think it's a good formula to stay active. We often here on this show, we often talk about how much better boxing was in the past. Those guys, man, they fought a lot more than these guys do today, and it's good to see a young man like yourself staying active the way that you are. That's a breath of fresh air for me,
Yeah.
And then he's not getting hit. That's the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's not getting hit.
Counting in all of my fights, I think I got hit 4 to 5 times.
Combined,
yeah.
Now, the last time we had you on, I mean, you mentioned the name Willie Pep, for defense, as an inspiration, and this can go to Dad as well. But like, what are some of the things that you've taken from Willie Pep?
One, the angles, because in boxing you need a bunch of angles. You can't just be a flat-footed go get 'em fighter. Blocking. A lot of fighters don't parry punches anymore. You know, they always want to slip, and that's how usually they get caught with punches. And
don't get way too much game. Don't get way too much game.
Oh, I see. Some of it's like, you know, sacred secrets or something, huh?
That's right. That's right. You don't want to give it all away, you know?
Yeah. So it's just plenty more, but those are the main ones.
All right. And of course, the other one was that you also mentioned was Sugar Ray Robinson. Now, Sugar Robinson, for many, especially historians, is considered the greatest of all time. Did you consider him the greatest of all time?
Yes, by far.
Yeah.
I think Henry Armstrong with the runner up for me. But
he always say that.
Yeah,
he was a great fighter.
He didn't lose till well after 100 fights.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That in this time, could you imagine a fighter that has 100 fights and undefeated in this day and time?
That would be insane to see that. If somebody got 100 fights and didn't take a loss.
Yeah, that's something. So that was the good old days. That's what we bring it back. We want people to fight.
Yeah, I want over 100 fights.
So
yeah, that'd be good.
So Floyd Sr., I want to ask you this. So because it was interesting, I told him, "Oh, don't give it away." But so, is there a lot of things in classic fighters, like a lot of these legends, that you feel is a lost art that is a lot of boxers just are not using anymore? That you feel you could teach your son and that he'll be able to use in his career?
Yeah, there's a lot of traits that people forgot. They forgot, number one, that it's a science, that it's also a chess match in there. And then they also forgot it's a fight at the same time. Right now, it's about show. It's about a shoulder roll. And to us, you know, most of the time you dropping your defense to go here, leave yourself open. Now you got two targets open. It don't make sense in the science of boxing because now you don't know what target that opponent going to hit. So a lot of guys forgot the chess match. Okay. And they don't know how to adjust because they don't know the styles.
All right. Well, hey, I can't wait because I'll tell you what caught my eye, right, when I saw Floyd Schofield fight it was just a random video somebody sent me, you know, and I clicked on it. And I was watching, like, to me, honestly, it looked like someone that had been practicing this craft for a long time, right? I was in shock when I heard it was only 18. I was, right? And it might be easy to you, Floyd. I mean, maybe it's just easy for you, but it shouldn't be that easy. Like, you know, like, right? Like, it just shouldn't, right? But you know, and if it is, great. But it's and there's just little thing like I know, like the right uppercut, like it caught my eye, even though it didn't stop the opponent in that first film I saw that right uppercut, like it just, you know, I'm like, man, there's fighters that go a whole career and they don't have an uppercut like that, you know? Right. So it's impressive, right? You know, the body work and just everything. So I can't wait to see how this progresses because I definitely agree that there is a lost art out there with a lot of these greats and it's out there and it could be learned, but they need a teacher. And that's something I feel your son has. He has a teacher. We don't have teachers anymore, but we have trainers, right? You know, stuff like that, but we don't have teachers. So do you know, are you planning on training anybody else or it's going to be you and your son for this whole journey?
I believe it's going to be me and my son for this whole journey, but you never know. You never know. But right now I got to focus on him at least till he's 25.
You don't like training nobody else. I would love to see that.
Because I talk very blunt, and a lot of people can't take the truth.
Yeah, so many people quit from training with him because, you know, he's just straightforward to the point.
That's the best way, though, man. That's the best way to tell somebody. You know, that's the way I was raised. You know, I was raised by old Mexican men, and they didn't give a damn about your feelings. You know, they just flat out told you the truth. You know, you didn't like it, oh well. Get used to it. Mm-hmm. But I agree with D-Style, though. The maturity for someone your age, when I see you fight, it almost reminds you of something like this. Like you hear guys in like other sports that make it look easy. They'll say things like, you know, well, the game is it slows down for me, you know. Is that something that sort of happens in the ring when you're in there with somebody? Like it's just everything they're doing is slow motion to you, you know?
the thing is, I would like in the back in the dressing room, like say for example in Atlanta, you know, I got a whole crowd with me. You know, I'm laughing, playing, warming up, you know, jokes and dancing, and then it's like when I walk out, it's like everything turns black, and the only person I see is like my dad and that opponent, and like I can't hear anything, I can't see anything, and I think, you know, it helps a lot. You know, it helps me tune everything out.
Well, that's because of COVID, because nobody's there because of COVID. Nice playing.
Yeah, and I also don't be hearing the walkout music. Like I'll pick the song and don't remember a song I walked up to.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah,
hey, as long as the
that's
people
focus.
Yeah, as long as the people hear it, it's all good. We have someone haplotype asking, how do you feel about Sam Langford? Are you guys familiar with Sam Langford?
No.
Okay, you got to look up Sam Langford. That's for sure.
Okay.
Good fighter.
So how do y'all feel?
What is that?
How do y'all feel? How do the panel feel about him, Sam Langford?
Well, Sam Langford, look, African American fighter, never got a shot because, you know, in those days, you know, you just didn't get your shot, right? The only one that got a shot at the time was, you know, Jack Johnson, and he gave Jack Johnson a toughest fight before Jack Johnson won the heavyweight championship of the world, and Jack Johnson had no interest in fighting him. You know what I mean? What is that?
Will they have film on him?
Yes, there's film of Sam Langford for sure. Yes,
he's actually one of the most famous Canadian boxers of all time. He's from the same area as Kurt Johnson. I don't know if you remember.
So he's African. So okay, well, he was black.
Yeah, he's African American. All the people from that part of Canada, Nova Scotia, actually came through the Underground Railroad. So yeah, he's African American. But you guys remember Kurt Johnson? That was a heavyweight for a while, like in the late '90s. He was from the area too.
I know the name.
Yeah.
So Sam Langford was one of the most feared heavyweights in those days.
Yep.
You know, so Jack Johnson was like, I'm good. You know, some consider him the best of all time. So
yeah,
beat a lot of former world champions and stuff like that. So definitely worth looking. You know, and maybe we'll see some, you know, Floyd do something that Sam Langford did in the ring or something. Who knows? You know, maybe we'll.
Yeah,
definitely worth looking.
I'll probably pull a move.
What's that?
I said after I study him, I'll probably pull a move.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey. Now I'm getting more and more excited, man. Like if you keep watching these old school fighters and doing stuff in the ring, I swear to God, that'll be something. You know.
Right.
What are some other, like, you know, classic fighters, even if it's the 80s, 90s, even early 2000s that they like to study?
I was just watching Jack Dempsey the other day before my fight.
Like, what would this era need? Like, what style fighter? If you could pick any fighter of any era to put him in this time and they would be good, like really good at stuff, who would you pick?
Probably Jack Dempsey, because he would always trying to kill somebody, or either
who would he deal with?
He would probably run through all these people, Jack Dempsey.
So this is the talks we go through in the daytime.
You know, I gotta be honest. I think Sam Langford is not only better than Jack Dempsey. I think he's way better. That's just, and I'll tell you what, Sam Langford fought all of them. Dempsey did not fight black fighters. You know what I mean? Yep. So to me, that is an asterisk. But you know,
would you put him in this time? Like, do you think he'll do good if he was like this day and time?
Do you think he would beat Fury?
Dempsey, I think he'll be too small for Fury. He'll be a good cruiserweight.
I'm talking about Sam Langford.
Too small, I think. The thing is, the heavyweights of that time were like not even cruiserweight size in today's time. So honestly, it's like, how would LeBron James do if he went back to like 1930s and played basketball? It would be as good as those worlds. It was different.
Well, the thing is this: would you put him in a time machine, or would he be born back then? Because that makes a difference, you know. Because we know that, we know sports evolves over time. You know, somebody will come in, do something different, and then we'll see that that evolution happen. You know, so that's why I don't really like getting into these kind of conversations, because I start thinking like that. I'm like, well, you know.
Funky, I will say this though. I just looked up his record: 313 total fights, 126 knockouts. Think about that.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
He was out there.
But heavyweights in those days were like 175 pounds. You know what I mean? So it was a different size of man, I guess. You know, you had some 200 pounders here and there, like, you know. But I think Willard was considered a giant. He was like 6'4", I think. You know, so that was a giant back then. So
even one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, Joe Louis, was small compared to the heavyweights now. I think he was only like 190 pounds for most of his career. You know, wasn't even 200.
Here's someone I want to ask you about. He's a Mexican legend, featherweight fighter, Salvador Sanchez. Have you studied him at all? Watched the fight?
Sanchez. He was pretty good. I watched one of his iconic fights with a Puerto Rican.
Gomez,
Wilfredo Gomez.
Yeah, it was a good fight.
Classic fight right there. Plus, they had the Battle of the Bands before the fight started.
That's right.
So, who were you rooting for in the fight?
Gomez, definitely.
Well, Gomez was the favorite. He was the favorite going into that fight. I believe he had all knockouts on his record going into that fight. He was considered pound for pound one of the best, and Sanchez did his thing that night, you know. But a good fighter, though.
Keeping it with the Mexican fighters, what about Julio Cesar Chavez, el gran campeón mexicano? Is that somebody you like to watch?
The older one or the younger one?
Oh, no, the older one. No, not the young one. No, not Junior.
We don't talk about Junior here.
I can say he's probably one of the.
He's a legend.
Yeah, he's an icon of the sport.
Okay. He's a legend.
He had an underrated defense, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Talk about it. Let them know out there, because people don't believe me when I say it. Tell them again.
Yeah, he did. You know, you watch his fights. You see a lot of resemblance between him and Canelo with the head movement. Yeah. And how he just sit in a pocket and, you know, ducking and slipping. Pretty impressive.
Yep.
Now, with defense, I know you mentioned Willie Pep, but if we're going to talk defense in boxing history, I have to bring up Whitaker, right? For now, Sweet Pea Whitaker, is that someone you've studied, watched?
Yeah, we got pictures with him. He came to one of Floyd things.
Yeah, not necessarily one you know, just outpick Canelo to watch, you know, because he did some nice, you know, movements, but, you know, I'm not a fan of the hands all the way down here and, you know, slipping.
Okay.
And, yeah.
In camp, he took a lot of punishment.
Yeah.
You can see how he was talking later on in life. He probably looked good at Showtime doing that stuff, but getting to that level where he could slip like that, he took punishment.
You have to do that in sparring and everything.
Yeah, that's good.
Good idea. There you go. All right. So you're like a defense that where like you're pairing shots, you know, more so than bobbing and weaving.
Yeah, it's a fight in there. Somebody trying to knock your brains out.
Right.
I mean, it's not a game. Your defense got to be firm. You got to be able to catch these things, block your knockout point, your temple, your chin, protect your liver. You know, it's a fight in there.
Yeah, and it's super simple. All it is just
don't give it away. Don't give it away.
You don't want to go with you don't want to give stuff away now. You know. Did Devin Haney give anything away when you sparred him? By the way, speaking of giving away,
he let me know that his chin is very suspect. Or but
the thing is, Devin's style is our style was made to beat his style. He fight like the Cubans, but we studied the Cubans because we knew when we got to the Olympics, they was the ones dominating. So Haney's style was made and designed to beat that style.
Yeah, that's how we trained.
So that's why we know Haney couldn't deal with us and can't deal with the power of Floyd, because his style, he can't adjust like Floyd can adjust fast enough. And so he's a fighter, don't get me wrong, because that style is hard to beat, that Cuban style, for most of these American fighters that never go to Cuba and fight or wasn't trained. Floyd was trained by a Cuban early in his career at one time who used to assist me. So we learned that style. Floyd know how to do that same style.
All you got to do with Devin is
don't tell his thing because somebody gonna whip his ass. You tell.
Well, boxing fans like us, we're just hardcore fans, and we love the sport. I think any level-headed fan could say that, Haney looks very talented. We could see the tools that he has in the tool bag, but at the end of the day, he's very untested. He hasn't been in with anybody that could test him. We haven't seen it. Like you spoke about his chin. We haven't seen him if he could take a good shot from somebody yet, and hopefully we find out with Linares. I think Linares got enough speed and power to test his chin. We'll find out when they fight.
No, not because that style. Devin gonna use that jab and keep that range and keep picking them off with that jab at a distance. He's gonna be bouncing back on that back foot, and he's gonna be trying to set up that straight right to come with that, to try to come over with that right. That's what he's gonna start trying to set up.
And that may be true, but
because Linares' feet is
I say, all it takes is one punch.
Yeah, all it takes is one.
He could just wing the lucky and stop that.
The problem with Linares is if a breeze passes by, you can knock him out.
He's got a bad chin himself, much like Gamboa, who he just fought.
Yeah. So Devin fight in another one of those. That's all that is.
Yeah, for me, Linares was like, I had a list of guys that I wanted to see Haney fight next. And Linares was like at the bottom. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's a step up though, but he was the last on my list.
Better than the Santiago. That's all we.
Say. Absolutely, yes.
So we'll see that.
Well, I was gonna ask about Shakur Stevenson. I know you're high on Shakur. And I think most fans that know boxing are high on him. Of course, we're kind of waiting for that breakout fight. Where he can really showcase his skills. I felt that Joet Gonzalez was a really good performance, because I think Joet is, people don't know how good Joet is, but in the Mariaga fight, we saw how good he is, Mm-hmm. But what is it about Shakur, that about him that maybe us fans don't know? Does he work that much harder than everybody else, or is it just natural talent? What is it about Shakur that we should know?
I think it's just his dedication to the sport, his IQ, the fact that he trains super hard, and he just stays in the gym from what I know, and his confidence too. You not gonna just go in there and bully him. His confidence is sky high. And that's, a major key.
My thing about Shakur is they remind me of each other. Shakur is trained by his grandfather, so he learned the old school way of boxing. He learned the science of it. And Shakur got so much knowledge in him. Watching them spar is fun because it's like watching two chess masters play who's going to make what adjustment. And it's good. His IQ is ridiculous. And I can't wait to see him actually fight somebody get in the ring with him, like a Devin Haney.
Oh,
every time y'all bring that up, Bill mad, boy. Bill mad.
Yeah, they never bring up the name Shakur now that I think about it, but
go on to 135 next year, and I bet you Devin gonna go to 140.
Oh,
run Devin.
Oh man. So before we let you go, so you definitely need to check out Sam Langford. There is some film on him out there. A fighter that, didn't get his due, but there's actually a lot of historians that consider him the greatest of all time. So hell of a fighter to check out. So there you go. We all learn something new every day. Anything else you wanted to let us know before we let you go?
For everybody, follow him on Instagram at kid_Austin1.
There you go.
What's your Facebook?
Floyd Schofield III.
Floyd Schofield III. There you go. And Kid Austin on Twitter, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, Kid Austin1 on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't post up nothing.
Yeah. Old guys like us still use Twitter, but a lot of old boxing fans out there. I'm just saying. So.
Wow.
Yeah, it's always great to have you on. Hopefully, after a couple more fights, a channel I like to recommend to you guys is Retro Boxing and Documentaries, ran by Blood Boxing himself. Blood is actually one of the very, very, very first guys to start talking boxing here on YouTube, and he has a great channel out there. A lot of he has a Salvador Sanchez documentary. Someone kind of cool, me, is featured on there a little bit.
You said it's Retro Boxing, what?
And
yeah, it's right there on the screen. Yeah, it's right there on the screen.
Okay. Thank you.
So
yeah,
great stuff. A lot of historical stuff that he puts on their documentaries that he's working on and all that. So you would definitely want to check that out and all that good stuff.
He's a subscriber.
Yeah, he makes a lot of good documentaries on the old historical fights and stuff like that. Great channel.
Okay,
absolutely.
You want to check it out.
For sure. All right,
we'll be looking for that right uppercut, man. Don't forget, we'll be looking for that in the next fight.
I'm telling y'all, this right uppercut, somebody going to sleep. I don't want it to just be they go down. They're going to sleep.
When you finally hit them with the uppercut.
Oh, we didn't expect that.
He's silly.
After he hit him with that, everyone's going to look at me and be like, look at what you did.
Man.
All right. Well, after a couple more fights, we'll definitely like to have you back on. And you guys have yourself a great one. We definitely appreciate you coming on.
You too. Thank you so much.
Have a good one.